welcome to my basement this time. I have a great comfy chair in the corner that I'm going to be using as Bella yells at me because she doesn't know why I'm down here talking. That I'm going to be using for the read alouds. And right now we're having severe weather, so the basement's probably the best place to be anyway. Okay, I'm going to be reading Sharon Creech's Hate That Cat. And there's the full cover. We would be doing our poetry unit right now, and this is the chapter book that we use, and you'll see why as I read it. Okay. This book was given to our class by Harrison, so thanks again, Harrison, and your family. All right. This is the book that I'll do every year, and I absolutely love. Okay, as I read, I gotta read this dedication because it's hilarious. For all you cat lovers out there and all you cat haters too. I think that's pretty funny as to do as a dedication. Now, I want to show you as I read how it's set up. This is supposed to be from Jack, the student's journal, and he writes his teacher and she writes back, and because they're studying poetry, he writes it in the format of a poetry, even though it doesn't always sound like poems. Okay, Jack. Room 204, Miss Stretchberry. September 12th. I hate that cat like a dog hates a cat. I said I hate that cat like a dog hates a rat. Hate to see it in the morning, hate to see that fat black cat. September 13th. Sorry, I didn't know you liked cats. Didn't know you have one. September 14th. More poetry? You probably think we will remember what we learned last year, right? What if we don't remember? What if our brains shrunk? What if it's too hard? But I'm glad you are my teacher again. I hope you will keep moving up a grade every year along with me. You understand my brain. September 19th. No, I can't write anymore about my dog Sky. Maybe all the words about Sky flew out of my head last year. I think about him all the time, and I see him in my mind. And some of his yellow fur is still on my yellow chair, and sometimes I think I hear him, the sound that he makes when he's happy. But no, I cannot write about Sky anymore. And look how he did anymore. Right there. It's a little bit blurry, but he stretched it out by the letters. Maybe I could write about a cat. A mean cat. A crazy, mean, fat, black cat. Although my Uncle Bill, who is a teacher in a college, said those words I wrote about Sky were not poems. He said they were just words coming out of my head, and that a poem has to rhyme and have regular meter and symbols and metaphors and onomata something and a literal something. And I wanted to punch him. September 21st. Another thing Uncle Bill said is that my line should be longer, like in real writing. And then do you see how he did longer? He stretched the word all the way across the page. That's the fun thing with poetry. You can kind of write it however you want. But here is what happens when I try to make them longer. The page is too wide and the words get all mumble jumbled, and it makes my eyes hurt. All the white space to the edge of the page, so far away. And in order to get all the words down that are coming out of my head, I have to forget the commas or the periods, and I have to go back and stick them all over the place like this, which looks, if you ask me, stupid. But if you write short lines, a person knows where to breathe, short or long, and I hate to read those long lines, and I don't want to write them either. And he was being kind of sarcastic, threw in a bunch of commas, so I had to read it the way that he wrote it. September 26th. I wish you would tell my Uncle Bill all those things you said today about our own rhythms and our own images, bouncing around in our words and making them poems. And yes, I understand that if I am ever President of the United States, I might be expected to write very, very long lines, but in the meantime, I can make my lines short, short, short if I want to. But even if you told my Uncle Bill all that stuff, he wouldn't believe you. He likes to argue. My mother likes my short lines. She runs her fingers down them and then taps her lips once, twice. And I think I understood what you said about onomata something and a litter something not having to be in a poem, but how sometimes they enrich a poem. But sometimes they can also make a poem sound purple. Purple. Ha ha ha. October 3rd. Okay. I will learn how to spell alliteration and onomatopoeia, right? And I will practice them just in case I ever need to enrich something. Ready? I can't do it. Brain frozen. First, you need to have something to write about. You can't just alliterate and onomatopoeiate all over the place, can you? Now I have to pause for a second to stop these dogs from fighting. All right, had to use my mean mom voice, and I got them to stop fighting for a minute. The basement, for some reason, is the place they love to run around and be crazy, so they think this is where we should be running around and being crazy right now. So hopefully we can break that as I read down here every day. All right, back to the story. October 10th. I felt like there were feathers in my brain when you brought out those objects, and we practiced doing alliteration on them, like with purple pickle and polished pencil and chocolate chalk. But the pickle wasn't purple, the pencil wasn't polished, and the chalk wasn't chocolate. So my Uncle Bill would probably say, we are wrong, even though it's fun to imagine a purple pickle, a polished pencil, and chocolate chalk. Now in class we would stop and I would say, so what is alliteration? The examples were purple pickle, polished pencil, chocolate chalk. Are you catching it? Alliteration is when a lot of words in a sentence start with the same sound, like the lazy lion lounged in the land. That just came off the top of my head. Not very good, but do you get it? Or using his purple pickle. I picked a purple pickle and put it in my pink pouch. Get it? October 12th. Something I am wondering, if you cannot hear, do words have no sound in your head? Do you see a silent movie? October 16th. So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow poem again? Did you forget we read it last year? Okay, here's one. So much depends upon a creeping cat crouched in the tree beside the yellow bus stop. I bet you're going to ask me, why does so much depend upon a creeping cat, right? Speaking of, this book talks a whole lot about William Carlos Williams, and we're going to hear Jack talk about him. And so I had requested this on our book list, and it has a group of poems, including his famous The Red Wheelbarrow. And this one was given to us from Connor and his family. And we will be reading some selections from it. But when you hear about William Carlos Williams and the Red Wheelbarrow poem that Jack uses to model his own poems, this is a book that we have to share later. All right, we're going to do a little bit more for today. He still had a little more from October 16th. Remember, the wheelbarrow guy didn't say why so much depended upon the red wheelbarrow and those white chickadee chicks. Did you catch the alliteration? Chickadee chicks. October 17th. Onomatopoeia made my ears frizzle today. Now, as we read Jack's thing, see if you can figure out what onomatopoeia is. Ready? All that buzz, 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 and pop, pop, and dribble, tinkle, trickle. The sounds are still buzzing and popping in my head. And the bells, bells, bells in my poem that you read by Mr. Poe. Is he alive? All those bell, bell, bells, all those tinkling and jingling and swinging and ringing and rhyming and chiming and clanging and clashing and tolling and rolling, all those bells, 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 with the tintinnabulation. What a word. Tintinnabulation? I only understood about half the words in that poem, but like you said, sometimes that is okay because we felt those bells. We heard those bells crazily ringing in their tintinnabulation. But I bet my Uncle Bill wouldn't like Mr. Poe's bell poem. My Uncle Bill would probably say that Mr. Poe repeats himself too much and needs to find a synonym for bells, but I don't care. I love those bells, bells, bells. I thought of some more onomatopoeia words. Gurgle, burgle, and wiggle. Are those right? And what about purr, purr, purr? And did your cat really have kittens? I don't really like creepy cats. You should get a delightful dog. And in my house, here's a hint about onomatopoeia. In my house, the word would be bark, 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 woof, 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 grr, grr, grr. I bet you figured it out by now. Onomatopoeia are sound words that when we read them, we can hear that sound. So when we read bark, we picture a dog barking, not the dogs actually say bark. Okay, that's it for today. We will continue tomorrow. This isn't a chapter book, so I'll just read for about 10 minutes each day as we get through this book. It is fantastic. I hope that you tune in and keep listening. Bye, guys.